Among the great players that you mentioned there, Roy Keane was one of them. Something that became clear from reading your own autobiography and also Roy's autobiography, a very close relationship between both of you, and two people who've had to battle the drink over the years as well.
Yeah, and I think Roy seems to have mastered it a lot quicker than me, because it took me, and it's still taking me time. But I love Roy as a friend. We were great friends in Manchester. We lived 500 yards from each other, and you know, and I've seen a different side to Roy. Roy comes across as this, you know, he can be a bit abrupt and stuff like that, and he has his own way of doing things, but it's the professional way of doing things, you know. And like I say, I've seen the funny side, and when we're out, we're laughing half the time. And we've been good friends, and you know, we're still in touch now. I spoke to him yesterday, I think it was, and he's been a great friend to me. Put it that way. You know, he doesn't just basically cut you adrift. Even when I went through the divorce, I didn't know which way to, because the wives were friends as well. So I thought maybe if I just step out of the picture and just let them get on with it, like, you know, Roy. But Roy's always ringing then and saying, Paul, you know, if you ever need anything, or you know, you want to talk about things, and he knows my situation because he's been there. And you know, I'm just hoping I can follow in his footsteps and maybe eventually knock for I'm 50 next year, so I've always said that at 50 I'll throw in the towel. So I you know, because I'm battered and bruised from doing some of the stupid things that I do. So, but I'm hoping to throw it in a little earlier now. So
how's that battle been going for you?
Yeah, on and off. It's you know, I've never said that. You know, once an alcoholic, I think always an alcoholic. It depends on what you do with it. Like, if you want to stay well and sober, then you just don't drink. And I'm glad to say now that I've you know, I'm back on the straight and narrow. You know, people will blow things up. If people catch me on the hop, then, you know, they see it as a front page spread, and that's the hard part, because sometimes you don't know who you're talking to, and it can be you know, these people talking to me just so they want to, but I'm past that stage. If they want to put it on the front page, put it on the front page. If they want to put it on the back page, the middle pages, I'm not really worried about it now. It's about me now, just trying to keep myself halfway well.
You mentioned you're coming up to 50 now as well. Obviously that's a landmark year. When you look back on kind of some of the incidents that obviously, you know, people remember, things like the domestic things, suicide attempts, things like that. Does coming up to 50 and having your family mature now at this stage as well, does that kind of make you appreciative of life itself?
Yeah, it makes me happy when I see the way my kids have turned out, and it makes me feel that I've done something right, because my children are all so well adjusted. You know, they're all good kids. They're mannerly kids. They don't, you know, effing blind. I probably do a little bit of that myself for them. I know. No, they're really good kids, and so it makes me thankful that I did something right with them, because they're not drinkers. They're not, you know. You know, they're not hooligans. They don't go out and steal. They treat people with respect and stuff like that. I mean, I go off the handle more times than they do, because you know, when I do slip and stuff like that, or fall off the whatever you could want to call it, then I can be obnoxious and not a very nice human being. So and it's not me. It's I'm not going to just blame the drink, but it genuinely isn't the way I normally am. So, and it's a horrible. For me, I've realised it is a disease. It is a case of, you know, when you see drink, and it's so much of it on TV now and all that sort of thing, that you do kind of, and people would say, well, you just don't have to pick it up. And for those people who aren't alcoholics, it seems like a very simple choice. But for people who are, I can tell you, it is a kind of a difficult thing to stay away from, because it's everywhere now, you know. So, but I'm glad to be, at the moment, I'm glad to be free of it, and hopefully, you know, I'm back in the gym, I'm back doing a little bit of work, and I'm just glad to be free of it for the moment.
For some of the players who were kind of caught up in that drink culture of the kind of late 80s into the 90s, many of them said that they were kind of working really hard and then playing even harder, but actually when they were out from a night after, the sins of having been out drinking made them actually play harder on the field. Was there any kind of truth to that?
Yeah, you felt like you owed the, you know, I mean, I've said it even in the book that I wrote, you know, Back from the Brink. I've tried. I've played drunk. I have to be honest about it. I've been given drink before again to actually settle my nerves, but I've done it in a way that I didn't want to let anyone down. So it makes you run. It makes you make sure that tackle is on point. You know, you don't want to. you don't want to slip up and have the players then stare at you and saying that's because you went out drinking, you know. So you do kind of your senses do get heightened a little bit more, that you do not want to be the one to make the mistake. And in one or two occasions, you can actually, you know, I mean, I came back from Ireland one time. I think I played against Duncan Ferguson and I actually got man of the match. And Duncan had actually said, because I won the first header, and Duncan turned to me and he said, "You are not going to win one more header." He was a rough git. Like he was 6 foot, I think he was 6'4" or something. And he said, "You are not going to win." He turned and he was really, he had a nasty look on his face as well. He just said, "You're not going to win one more header this night, not one more." And to be honest, I think I won every header against him, and that's the truth. And a friend of mine was in the crowd, and he because he was in Ireland with me, and he went, "What the hell happened to you out there?" Like, and I just said, well, he just turned around and said something to me, and it gave me that thing where I said, and to be honest, I could just about see the ball, so I did. But you know, so you don't want to let people. That was the thing with me, is if you knew you were going out with something against you, because you looked around this, even my teammates knew that I wasn't too healthy, so they would. I'd be saying to Bozzy or Yorkie, "Please give us a dig out tonight, lads. I'm not in the best of health." And to be fair to them, they would pull it out. Bozzy in particular used to say, "Don't worry, like I'm behind you, and you know, if anyone gets through and stuff like that." And he'd say penalties and all. He's an incredible lad.
Recent years, people have compared you to Ledley King for a different reason, obviously, with the fact that Ledley has had chronic problems with his knees. He's found it difficult to train as well. And that's the thing, is it possible to actually not train much during the weekends, keep that match fitness?
I think Ledley looks a fit guy as well, yeah, and I think, and I love watching him play. I just think his positional play, you know, his reading of the game and all that is really good. So, and I think he can. I think a lot of players could, but it's whether the management let you do it, you know. There was times that with Aston Villa when we changed managers and stuff like that, and some managers insisted that I actually do the training with the people. Even when Jim Walker was our physio, and he used to try and explain to him, Paul doesn't train all week. He goes and does this little bit of bike work, has a bath, has a hot bath and stuff like that, and then on Saturdays he'd show up for the team. So Ledley could easily do it, because he really does look a fit guy. So.
We started obviously saying that it's been 11 years now since you finished. Are you enjoying this kind of line of work, going down to events? I know you were down in a coaching event here last year. Is coaching maybe something you'd be interested in?
No, the people are saying about going for your badges and stuff like that. I couldn't see me managing a team, really, to be honest. You know what I mean? I'd have them all up the local, like say, we're having a team talk in here today. No, but I love coaching with kids and stuff like that, and trying to get, because you know, when there's one or two kids even last year that, and you can see that they can't really kick, you know, they're not kicking the ball right and stuff like that, but after a few minutes just showing them how to kick the ball and stuff like that, and the fun that you can have with them is and that's my way of giving back. I don't think I could coach 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds. They're telling you, you know, if you give out to them at all, but these kids want to learn how to kick the ball right and stuff like that, and you can show them that very simply, you know, and I enjoy doing that, and hopefully with the FAI and stuff like that, I'm gonna, you know, I'll be doing a lot of work, I think, with the FAI want me to do, and hopefully, and it's not going to make me, I don't think, a millionaire or anything like that, but it's a lovely way of getting out there and just giving a little bit back, and you know, getting a few shillings for it, I suppose, as well.
I know you did a little bit of TV work, but something maybe that didn't suit you entirely?
No, nerves again. I'm not the greatest with TV. I'm not the greatest with these things. I'm not the greatest with radio. But I love. You know, I'm a lot better than I was, because I used to run a mile when I saw one of these things. So at least I'm getting a little bit better.